everybody. Hello. Welcome to our 5-minute pre-show countdown. We got some great songs here. 2 songs from the same band. I thought I'd feature these guys as I'm saying hello to you and ushering everyone in. Let's share the link on Instagram, on Twitter X. It's up and going. Let's say hello to each other in the chat. This band is called Twangero. Twangero or Twangero, which literally means like someone that can be like that jams and twanging the guitar. And a buddy of ours is in the band, Moises Vaqueiro. Love this. Okay, as we're finally in, saying hello, there's a poll going on in the chat right now. You got to come on over to the YouTube live stream. What new Star Wars are you looking forward to? Ahsoka season 1, season 2, the Acolyte next episode, the new Rey movie, or are you just gonna rewatch the OGs? Vote right now. Okay, 3 minutes away. We're 3 minutes away from putting on the cameras, putting on the lights. Lorena is in the green room, getting ready to come out and join us. So let's go to the next little announcement. Sign up now on our Latino Slant Que Pasa newsletter. Gotta go to thelatinoslant.com and sign up. Once a week, I do an edition of a new newsletter. It's editorial, it's videos, it's articles. We now have 15 editions for you guys. The only way you can get it is sign up now on the Latino Slant. It's the Que Pasa newsletter. We're going to change music now. And this is the same band, Twangero. La canción se llama La Cumbia Sin Nombre. It's the song with no name. I love it. So yeah, these guys are in LA. I am gonna have a mini concert of these cats soon. Moises Vaqueiro, Diego Garcia on the guitar. Exquisite. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Enjoy. What do we call these meetups? Pasha? I love it, Kamran. I love it. He's in the green room too. Okay, if you're a member, considering being a member, our next event is with Paul Chato. We're going to watch Clean of the South, hang out, and have a great time. Just checking out Kate Del Castillo's performance. We're going to be doing some different things with Paul Chato about once a month, membership only, checking out movies and television shows from Latin America. Next week, it's the best of 2024 so far with Robert Marbinet, Rosa Para, Struggle Reviews. We do these once a year, mid-year, and then at the end of the year. We've been doing this now for 3 years, going on strong in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, my name is Polly. This is the Latino Slant, thelatinoslant.com. We're so happy you guys are here. I don't do this often, and we're going to do this right now. Right now. We are less than 15 subs away from 12K. Let's do this tonight. Let's do this right now. Let's make it happen. friends of Lorena Creo, friends of Kamran Pasha, friends in general. Do it right now. What are you guys waiting for? I'll cumbia dance for you. I'll play some songs. I got the best guests. I have wonderful people. We have wonderful subjects. What are you waiting for? Let's go right now. If you're on X, get on over to the YouTube link. Maybe we can put that link in our X. What do you call it? They have a chat in the X. But that would be so wonderful. Okay, guys, I'm going to keep reminding you about all that stuff. But we have 4 major stories to go through. Scoopy scoops, scoop a loop. So we're just going to get right into it as far as inviting our guests. 50 people now combined on X, on YouTube, starting it out. And I love it. I'll say hello to you guys in a minute. Super chats are always welcome. Much love to the subscribers and to the members, and much love to our wonderful panel. Here we go. You know him, you love him, and hell, I just had brunch with him today. Kamran Pasha, everybody.
Hola, amigo. It's good to see you again after only a few hours. I can't escape you.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We flew in to have brunch. We're so
on our private jets. Yes,
on our private jets. How's your day, man?
It's been good since I've last seen you. I'm working. I've got some projects I'm working on, writing away, doing stuff. So yeah. So you just gotta. That's the thing for any of you who are artists or filmmakers or budding. You just gotta plug away a little bit every day. You just gotta keep trying.
Yes, sir. If anything, if you guys come here for to learn about scoops, to learn about the business. You're talking, I'm bringing in a lot of people who actually work in the business, in and out of the business. We just had a great meeting with actress Chelsea Rendon on a project we're working on. I mean, it is going to take a mountain of people to get this project up and going, Kamran, because that's what it takes to get something going in Hollywood.
Yeah, and people don't grasp, that you have no choice but to be collaborative. I mean, Hollywood is famous for its egos, but the reality is, how can you get anything done? I mean, unless you are already a rich billionaire, then you can just finance your own movies like George Lucas, and then sometimes that doesn't work out because sometimes you need someone else saying, "Hey, boss, are you sure about that?"
Right.
When you got all the money, you don't have to listen to anybody, and often that's great, but not always.
Yeah, and even then, there's no guarantee that movie is going to happen or that TV show is going to have a millionaire behind your back. Okay, so we're so happy you guys are here joining us. I have my blue screen lenses on. Romy reminds me.
So do I. These are blue screen.
Yeah, I gotta wear them.
They're good. I can sleep much easier now with these.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my friend, let's bring her in because we're so excited that she's on the East Coast time, so we want to get her in here right away.
Lorena Creo.
Hey, Kamran. Hey, Polly. Hey, everybody.
I haven't been on with you in at least a year.
Oh my gosh, it's insane.
But your hair is always looking lovely, and you also got cool glasses on, and
yeah, I had to. I was getting migraine headaches, so I have my my Tony Stark blue blocker glasses on.
Well, all 3 of us blue blockers. This is good.
That you look, like I said, Lorena, you look incredible, and always love it. The beauty and the brains and the beauty, everyone to say, but thanks for being here. I know it's late on the East Coast, so you got some time with us. You saw Kalki.
Yeah.
let's save it for another stream because we'll save it for another stream. But guys in the chat, super chats, PayPal, all that good stuff is there. Let's say hello to our producer really quick. El hombre con nombre, Fletcher Williams.
El hombre con el hombre, so hombre.
Yeah, and I don't know.
I feel like your name should be more Latino, like Flechario. I mean, that's more Italian.
That's nice.
Fletcher.
It's Fletcher X.
Fletchercito.
So, Fletcher, before we hit our first scoop of the night, scoop a loop, what do you have in store for us in the chat? What's going on? All that good stuff.
Well, we got everybody coming in quickly. I guess we are hitting really, really good numbers. What we really want everybody to do, though, is if you are not subscribed to the channel, we're so close to our goal for today. If you could please subscribe. I know a lot of people are coming in for our awesome guests, but if you could, just double check if you're subscribed. Sometimes YouTube does a lot of things, so if you could help us out there. And look at that, just like that, Jared Molina, gracias for subscribing. That was really cool.
Okay.
And that's what we want you to do.
Yeah, we're going to keep updating. Oh my God, we're 11 away from 12K.
Woo!
11 away from 12K.
It's gonna happen.
Come on now.
Right,
we're gonna do this tonight.
We're
doing this tonight. We're doing this tonight.
Do this tonight.
Doing this tonight. Everyone in the chat, we thank you so much. This is a lot of hard work, Lorena. And Lorena's got like a full life. Not that I don't, but you know what I'm saying. So that's fantastic. ¿Qué más, Fletcher? ¿Qué más?
Oh, we have a lot of homies in the chat. We got Bonso, we got Sanjur, we got Daniel, got Solomon Thornton.
Nice.
I mean, we got all-stars in the house, everybody that is not subscribed, please.
We'll have links going on in the chat. Also, too, consider becoming a mod. Fletcher and Mexican Iron Man are fielding out new moderators for the channel. We always love that. It always helps us out. Okay, Fletch, I'll bring you in a little while, amigo.
All right, later.
Later, brother.
Well, before we jump in, I actually want to take a moment to say something live to Lorena, because we haven't talked on screen in a long time. And, I want to say this in front of everyone. Lorena is a very special person to me. She's a friend. She's someone I talk to on the phone, to unburden about sometimes the craziness of the world that we're in. And she's very important to me because at a time last year when some people questioned my integrity and my honesty, Lorena was out there publicly saying Kamran's an honest person and the truth will come out. And the truth did come out, and the people who made those accusations all pretend that it's all vanished, right? They don't talk about it, and they may be in the chat right now and whatever. But I just want to say that Lorena is a very special person with great integrity, and it means a lot to me that when the whole YouTube kind of went against me on false accusations, Lorena stood by me alone. And it means a great deal to me. That's a very special woman right here.
Oh, thank you, Kamran. You flatter me. Not a problem at all. I mean, been friends with you for quite some time. So
we know each other's character. We know, what each other is about, and that. And in the long run, it's going to be people like Paulie and people like Lorena who have character, who are going to have the long run impact in this medium of YouTube. And that's why I want to get to 12,000 here. We want to push people. If you aren't subscribed to Lorena's channel, do it right now, because you're going to get real honest. We don't always agree. Lorena and I didn't agree on Barbie. Paulie and I didn't agree on Barbie. That's okay. That's okay.
That's okay.
But it came from a place of integrity. And these are channels of integrity.
Yeah. And that's totally different than personal insults and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That we don't do. Okay, so are we ready to go? Are we ready to go? So with this first scoop, the Ahsoka casting troubles.
Okay, so let me pull those up.
Do we want to bring up your Patreon, or do we want?
We can bring it up. So Lorena, forgive me. We're going to be going over a few of the things that are on my Patreon recently. And I'm sure you've heard things, rumors yourself, or just have your own opinions on some of these things. So we'll do that. Are you comfortable with that as part of the conversation today?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, cool. So if you can pull up the article for Patreon and those, and as well as subscribing to these two people, come join me on Patreon.
And I had it ready, but here it is.
Yeah. So let's pull it up.
Okay, give me 1 second, and why don't you lead us off on the latest of the Ahsoka casting in Disney parks and the Acolyte from your Patreon. Wow.
Yeah, so this was in response to a lot of people. I'm sure you both have heard there were a lot of rumors about alleged Ahsoka season 2 castings, characters like Abeloth, who's like a sort of this dark feminine energy it's very popular actually with a lot of the fans. People talking about bringing her in, various names thrown around. So I reached out to my contact inside of Lucasfilm / Disney, and I didn't hear anything from them. And I didn't. I was like, okay, right. And then on Monday, they got back to me and they're saying, look, stuff is happening, but I'm actually not going to go into all the details for a reason, because there's a trap being laid, a Game of Thrones trap. Right now, according to them, and I believe them because they're inside the machine, a lot of the rumors that we're seeing right now are actually not true. There is casting on actively on Ahsoka season 2 right now, and my contact Sparrow says you're going to like it. The fans will mostly like it. They'll be happy with the characters and the people that are being chosen. But there's a lot of intentional misinformation being put out by Lucasfilm for a couple of reasons. One is that they want people to start talking excitedly again about Star Wars after not a great moment. We're going through this Acolyte. I'd long believed it would never get released. It did get released. And the reason I believed and hoped it wouldn't get released is this is what happened, right? It's made people even angrier than they were before. Like, things might have calmed down. Now they're even more upset, right? And so this is part of it, is getting people talking about a lot of these casting possibilities is a way for them to change the narrative right now. And also there's a little bit of a leaker's trap going on, which is that whole play from Game of Thrones with with his little birds, implanting different people with false stories to see which one gets out, so they know who's leaking, right? So my person was like, I'm not going to play that game because I've survived so far not getting caught, and I'm not going to get caught. So they wouldn't tell me. They're like, they wouldn't give me the details, but there is important casting happening, but it's not necessarily what you're hearing. So I would urge everyone to be very cautious about getting overexcited or unhappy with some of these stories you're hearing, because there's an actual game. And we've seen Lucasfilm plays a lot of games, sometimes to our benefit, often to our detriment. So on that issue, Lorena, if you had any thoughts on that, what you've been hearing, and whether that makes sense to you.
To be honest, I hadn't even been paying attention to the casting for Ahsoka season 2. Hasn't really been on my radar. I do know that overall with season 1 of Ahsoka, I was pretty disappointed. Mainly because, Rosario Dawson's my girl, and I just feel that she wasn't directed well enough to let how big of an acting talent she is, shine through. So other than that, I had a reasonably okay time, watching Ahsoka. But no, I haven't heard anything about any season 2 casting. Yeah.
So good. Then you're not going to fall into this trap, because they're reaching out to YouTubers to turn you guys into suckers, and you're not falling into this trap, which is good, right?
Let me just read this, right? In regards to this time, all Sparrow would allow me to say is casting for Ahsoka 2 is indeed going on right now, and the fans are really going to like the choices and where the show is going.
So let me give context on that, because I made a link in there. So last year, about 1 month, about 3 weeks before we got the announcement that in Ahsoka we're going to have a Thrawn appear, we had the first, if you remember, there was a teaser trailer where you see the back of his head, right? And you're like, oh, and you see a little bit of blue skin, you're like, oh, that's Thrawn, right? That was 3 weeks after the same person inside of the company told me, oh, Thrawn's been cast, and it's going to be big. And there had been no word that Thrawn was anywhere in this story, and I put it out there, but I said, can you tell me who's cast? And they're like, no, I'm not going to do that for this reason, because they have a couple of different stories they're putting out there and they're trying to track. And so it's the same thing, but we ended up scooping that Thrawn had been cast, and 3 weeks later Thrawn appeared, and then we discovered, of course, who the actor was. But so they are playing this game carefully because they haven't been caught, despite the fact that a lot of drama has happened because of some of the revelations they've given to me. And so I'm going to respect that they're not going to, because they've proved in the past. They said Thrawn was cast. 3 weeks later, we see Thrawn for the first time appear, right? And then they're like, okay, good. And so they are saying that major characters that most Lucas or Star Wars fans will be excited by are in Ahsoka season 2, and the casting is happening right now, and the names will be people that most people will like. So that's something of hope, even if it's general right now.
I got to tell you, I'm just going to push back a little bit. I was really unhappy with Thrawn at the end of the day, especially.
What was your complaint about him?
Well, they made him an idiot. It was written as an, especially compared to
you do see some of the strategic stuff at the end.
I'm just talking about the storyline wise compared to Zahn's Thrawn, which Zahn has changed a little bit at this point.
He's been catering to the dumbed down Star Wars.
Right. Listen, he's an older man. I get it. He's got to got to get paid. He's got bills. But. So I don't know where I'm excited about. I think what might be interesting is who they recast for Balin. Like a Gerard Butler would be sensational. But I really was disappointed for the majority of the first season, and especially with Rosario. It's like, why is she not invested? You can tell she's just like, just phoning it in. So, but yeah,
and that actually comes, I think, from the directing, because at the time my contact had said they actually said this to me, like, the scripts are really good, but then we saw some of the dailies were like, how are they being directed? Because the emotion that's on the page isn't coming across. That's something they said at the time. They're like, what's happening? So that may have been the directing of these episodes. I'll have to go back and look in some of these episodes who directed them. But it was like the script was very emotional, and they're like, why is it, why is it being pulled? Why is emotion being pulled back? Because as you said, Rosario can take it all the way, 180 degrees, 360, she's taking it all the way, right?
Well, she has.
Right. And to kind of add
with that
sorry,
role.
not to interrupt, but kind of add to that, because I do agree with Paulie about Thrawn and how he was written. I expected him to be the big bad, and it seems like they didn't push it that way hard enough, the way they should have, to make him believable. I thought Balin was a big bad compared to how they portrayed Thrawn. But again, I do agree about Rosario Dawson, because I keep in mind, look at her performance in the Haunted Mansion movie, which was released way earlier than it should have been, and panned a lot harder than it should have been either, because it was actually really good. You compare her emotional performance in that to what is in Ahsoka, and I definitely agree that it's got to be the directing, because Rosario has a ton of range, which is why she's one of my favorite actresses. So as a Rosario Dawson fan, I felt extremely disappointed, because I'm like, I know she has greater range than that. So it almost makes me want to ask the question. It's kind of just like, well, what was the I don't know, I guess the reasoning behind directing her that way? But
maybe they're trying to make her more zen. Maybe whoever the directors were interpreted the Jedi to be that way. But the reality is she's not a Jedi. She's walked away from that, and she's an independent person because of her willingness to follow her feelings. So the character, I agree, can be, she certainly can take it much further than they took it, right? And she's not meant to be a Zen Jedi. She isn't that. So that's fair. So all right, so that's where. So those who are interested, just know that at least my person feels that many of you will like the casting, but we'll find out. We'll find out short enough.
You go on to say, but they're willing to release some juicy information as to why Disney stock is suddenly
this is interesting,
and why Forbes journalist Carolyn Reed won an attack regarding the Disney parks today. So let's do a little side thing, because we got to.
We got to give context to this.
Let's give some context, and then kind of move away from the Ahsoka, if that's cool with you.
Yeah, fine. I pretty much said all I need to say about Ahsoka at this point. So yeah.
Okay. Right on.
So the context of this is, I've been reporting a lot. If anyone's been following my Patreon, I've been reporting. Forbes has had a hard on for Disney for about 3 months now, right? Or 2 months, really. And this specific reporter, Carolyn Reed, has been doing all kinds of exposés of how Lucasfilm is being financially mismanaged, how the Acolyte was financially mismanaged, and then she's been doing exposés of how the Ant-Man and the Wasp were mismanaged at Marvel. And so my contact was, I was like, what's happening here? So my contact, Sparrow, was like, I'll tell you what's happening. This is a concerted effort. Like, basically, they claim that Forbes is essentially working for Iger. And we know that the press will work for these studios. We know that, right? They've done that historically, and they serve various agendas. And so that Forbes is actually serving Iger's agenda. And Iger they claimed for some time now, has been trying to get the necessary leverage to remove the two troublemakers under his regime, which are Kevin Feige and Captain Kennedy. And so suddenly Forbes, which is a respected general magazine for the general public as well as for investors, right, has been attacking the competence and financial wisdom of both of these studio heads, right? And now this week on Monday, so just a couple of days ago, Forbes came out with this very aggressive attack on the Disney parks. And I know, Lorena, you're very heavily involved in the parks. You go there, right? You know what's going on. And so, and they had a lot of, and Carolyn went in with a lot, because she always gets all this information. Like, there's a lot of stuff is private information. Where's she getting it? It's because my guy's saying that they're feeding it to her, right? They're feeding it to someone at Forbes who's giving it to her. But she has all these detailed critiques of the parks, which I don't know if you've read the article, Lorena, but it's a very lengthy article. It's worth looking at for yourself, for someone who cares about this very much.
Okay.
but she also gives a lot of recommendations, very specific recommendations, what you need to do, blah, blah, blah. And so my contact is like, oh, this is part of that plan, but it's not why you think. This is Iger acting, but this is the gossip that's interesting. Iger is using Forbes to cover his butt in this circumstance. So according to my contact, apparently Iger made one big mistake recently. So he was apparently attempting, after this whole debacle with with this shareholder revolt that he was able to quell, that he just wanted to solidify the support of shareholders, right? Of big whales, not just the institutional people, but the wealthy individuals who have large shares. Mm-hmm. And I know, so Lorena, I think you've been invested in Disney in the past, right? So I don't know
I still am.
Mm-hmm. So but you are a shareholder, but he wanted to go after some of the top individual investors, wealthy people, right? Mm-hmm. And he basically did some kind of event where he brought like five extremely big wealthy whales. And Sparrow was very clear that the person that was Lucas, who was a wealthy whale, who was a big shareholder, right? Mm-hmm. Was not part of that because he's already made his arrangements with you
have it right here. You have it right here.
Yeah.
Range from top five individual investors and their families to get special VIP tour of the parks. The hope was that they would enjoy the rides and Iger's plans for expanding the facilities. Will that wow anyone, Lorena?
Would a tour of the parks wow them in general?
Well, part of it is also laying out the strategy for the future. Like we'll get
because
and here's the plan.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well here's the reason that I asked that. Because for people who are not familiar, Disney does provide tours, of course, for a price, and you're in a group. However, a VIP tour is totally different. You literally have your own personal, or possibly even two, guest services person with you. You do not wait in line for attractions because your guest services person and tour guide has an iPad and there's a special entrance that they take you into, and you basically get front of the line to go in. So they have to wait for nothing. They can get dining reservations when they want, all of that when they want. They do not have to get lightning lane. They get special, areas where they can watch the fireworks, watch the parades, all of that. They are basically catered from, beginning to end. Your regular pedestrian person doesn't give a crap about this at all. However, when you're talking about investment wise, and this is getting back to Kamran's point, no, I don't think they were impressed at all. One, given how dirty the trams are, how not full the parks are, how many times e-ticket attractions are not running first thing in the morning. And the other thing, there are all of these quote unquote coupon deals that are going on, merchandise that's been knocked down 50, 60, 70%, all the BOGOs going on. I've never seen that. As an investor, when you see all of that going on, that tells me you can't move merchandise. And why can't you move merchandise?
It's bargain bin. You're seeing it's all in the bargain bin. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, your analysis fits in what was told. I'm sorry. Your analysis.
You go on to say, and just what Lorena was alluding to, investors left grumbling that their kids were not entertained and that they're unimpressed with the state of the parks and the plans for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There's no thrills.
And so that fits in because I haven't really been to the parks in a very long time. I'm not there in Florida, so I haven't seen what they saw. So that narrative fits in your direct experience. And then the interesting thing is, because we've noticed Disney stock has started plummeting in the last few days, back below 100, right? And so my context, like, this is directly related to that debacle where Iger thought he was putting together this show and tell that was going to work for him, and instead these rich people, like, the kids were like annoyed. Then they heard the plan. The adults were like, that sounds that interesting to me. What are you gonna do with Space Mountain? What? And so then apparently it had the opposite effect. These rich whales went home and started making some calls saying, I don't think this is on the right track. I think I'm gonna dump some stock. And that's what started happening. This was a disaster. Yeah. He created the stock fall by doing this stupid event that he shouldn't have done.
Lorena,
believable to you? It feels believable to me.
Lorena, how did Bob Iger get up to this position, man? It just seems that every little movido he's doing, it's a joke now.
A lot of it is who you know, who you keep close to you, what bodies you know are buried where, and all of that. And that's pretty much, you know, Iger's he's a very, very smooth salesperson. You know, they don't call him the weatherman for nothing. That's why with the last shareholders call that they had, the shareholders meeting, they didn't let any of us civilians just call in willy-nilly.
Really?
They selected.
It's like an aristocracy now. Like you can't speak
Yes.
to the king. Yes.
They selected who they wanted.
Yeah.
And they had an AI read the questions, and then Bob responded to the questions. That's how the last thing went. Because before that, when Bob was asked questions, you know, right off the cuff in real time, he was not so smooth. He was rattled. He seemed annoyed that he had to answer questions. So now he's really in a spot where the parks, which generate most of the income from the Walt Disney Company, that's the cash cow that funds their, you know, the TV, films, and all that, is not doing very well at all. Because when they talk about the kids not being impressed, oh, I get it. There are hardly any thrill rides at the parks. There's, you know, Tiana's Bayou Adventure that they slapped together, and that has not been operational for a full day for I don't know how long.
You've been going off on that.
Yeah.
It's absolute garbage. They destroyed a reliable attraction so they could say how good they are. Good people.
And the thing is,
you
kids
know,
are
that they are.
Even rich kids are normies. If a kid is not enjoying themselves, they're not enjoying themselves, right? You know, you can be rich, and if you're not having fun, you're not having fun.
Okay,
yeah,
so
they want to go. They want to have fun. You know, they're looking around like, where's the anime? Where's the thrill rides? Where's all of this? So we heard that this park called Universal that's got, you know, those types of things. How come we can't go there? You know.
So before we jump back into and close up that article, a couple things. We're over 110 combined, X and YouTube. So if you're just getting here, if you're new to the channel, all that stuff. We are less than 10 subs away from 12K. That's right, less than 10. So let's do this tonight. I'm going to keep reminding you guys, if you haven't subbed, do it now. Now let's go to 2 super chats. We love super chats. Hemorrhoid hurts. Ooh, yes, they do, Lord.
That image is certainly quite iconic on the screen there. Okay,
yes.
Wow.
Enjoy your perspective, Kamran. Love the slant.
We all do.
Thank you so much, HH. Thank you so very much. Surgeon MD for $4.99. Kamran, the fandom thinks Filoni needs to go. What's your take? Also, Lorena, no movie review since the new Apes movie. Polly, LOL on the GL. George Lopez, Piñata. Before you guys get into that, let's thank these two right now with our own Ahsoka. Thank you, chat. We'll be right back.
The low rider is a little higher.
That was better than the show, Kamran. That was better than the show. You like that?
I like the show more than you guys did, but whatever. I mean,
it's all good.
Because you know why? You know, people always say, like, I was more patient with Book of Boba Fett, which was largely bad, but I didn't think all of it was bad. I thought some of it was good. I was more patient with all the stuff. You know why? Because I worked inside the McDonald's of this. I've seen how the hamburger is made. I've seen how much garbage is made, and then desperate writers, producers, and crew are trying to fix it, and then you get what's released. You have no idea how much worse those shows were before good-hearted people did their best to fix them, right? That's why I'm a little patient with this stuff, because I've seen how bad
I hear you.
this process.
Understood.
Okay, let's answer this.
Lorena,
let's go to Lorena. No movie review.
What was your view on Apes? I didn't see your Apes review. I'm gonna go back and watch it. You like it?
Yeah, it's my second favorite Planet of the Apes movie.
Really?
The OG one is my favorite, and this one
from '69, the OG.
Yeah,
nice.
That one, the new one that came out is that's basically like second. I totally enjoyed how they went with it. I had a couple of nits with it, but didn't detract from my enjoyment. So I was pleasantly surprised. So that's, you know, that's my ranking of them. I had stuff kind of happen in my life, unfortunately, tech
Mhm.
things are tough in the tech industry, so I got laid off. So that's mostly been my focus of working and doing things. But eventually I'll get back to the movie reviews. If you drop into my Spice Lounge show, if I've seen a movie, I'll give like a quick hit, but don't have as much time as I used to have right now doing movie reviews. So I'm
So
sorry.
you
I'll try
just
to
saw
get back to
Kalki, and
it.
we're gonna be doing a movie panel with someone from India on that. So look out for that. How about that?
I want you to do a movie panel with someone from Pakistan who critiques all.
Give us a film. Give us a film. Cameron,
I
the
just want you
fandom.
to bring a Pakistani dude just as I hate all these Bollywood movies, and then you'll have a balanced perspective.
No problem, bro. Fandom thinks Filoni needs to go. What's your tale or take?
As usual, I don't give a crap if people like this take or not. I mean, I think I've met this
We
man
couldn't hear
once.
that. We couldn't hear.
Okay,
Say that
that's,
again.
I mean, I always give my opinion whether people like it or not. And so I've met this man once a decade ago. He wouldn't remember who the heck I was. I interviewed for the job on Clone Wars when it was still an idea to do a Clone Wars show and to be the head writer. I did not get it, but I got as far into the process to the final stage where I met with him, right? And I had by that time had done the Clone Wars animated movie, and I knew he was George's guy, so I was quite excited about that. And I met with him, and the impression I got in the meeting was that he was very smart, in the sense of being a survivor, right? Because I would then go on. I didn't get that job, and then instead I worked for Tron. I worked for another animation. I worked for Tron Uprising. So I went straight to Disney, which at the time Lucasfilm had not been bought by Disney yet. That's still a couple of years away. And so I went straight to Disney, and then I discovered Disney, was the most politically crazy environment I've ever been in. Like, studios are all political, but this is literally like everyone's trying to stab you in the back. So this guy knew how to survive that. So he's a survivor. He is 100% a survivor. He's a company man, and whoever his boss is at the moment, he does what they want. And people seem to think, oh, he went out there and made a feminist speech about how women need to be more in Star Wars. Yes, guess what? Who told him to do that? Who told him? His boss, Kathleen Kennedy, said, I need you to go to this feminist forum and talk as a sensitive beta male about how women need. And he, you know what? He's like, yes, boss, whatever you want, right? Favreau comes in. He's like, oh, power shifting to this guy. Yes, boss, whatever you want, right? And so he's very good at playing this. And that's why he's not going anywhere. Whether you like his stuff or not, this dude is a survivor. He knows where his bread is buttered. He knows where his bread is buttered every single day because it keeps changing. Right?
Let's get back to.
He puts that sandwich and he eats it. He eats that sandwich. Wherever the bread is buttered, he eats it. He's not going away anywhere. He's going to be fine.
Let's get back to the end of this scoop so we can go on to the Ray scoop. On that front, Sparrow says that Iger remains committed to putting out the rest of the Acolyte, despite causing fans to cut Lucasfilm's losses and pull the plug. Sir Bob sees letting the show play out as a necessary evil in order to destroy these two adversaries who have been
adversaries being Kathleen Kennedy and Leslie Headland. Adversaries, yes.
So sadly, the show will not disappear for now, but it remains possible that perhaps 60 to 90 days after it has finished its run, the Acolyte could face the same fate as Kennedy's other pet project debacle, Willow, and be erased from Disney Plus. Cameron, the ratings have plummeted.
Yeah, and the thing is, the fans have been saying, the fans who still want, something to work in Star Wars, which includes me, have been saying, just pull this thing, just pull it, just stop, don't put any more of this crap out, just stop the bleeding, right? Just pull it, say it's not working, the audience didn't like it, right? That happens, right? But they can't because Ms. Headland wrapped herself up in identity politics. You're pulling an LGBTQ plus show. That's what that's what she wrapped herself. You're pulling with an Asian guy. She wrapped herself up in this, right? In order to have this defense, the Hollywood identity shield. You can't do anything, and he knows that. So his view is that he's going to just let it play out, and he's going to let Headland and Kennedy destroy themselves. Now, a scoop that I had a few days before this article was a person inside of Lucasfilm had come back and said that there were rumors of an emergency meeting. Apparently, there really was an emergency meeting because of the they were able to confirm, there was a meeting. They were able to get me the list of attendees, which one thing people will be unhappy to hear, Dave Filoni was at least invited to come to that meeting along with Favreau. And what was shocking was, for the first time, George Lucas was invited to come to that meeting. He'd never been invited since he sold.
That goes with Dan DeMann really quick. Thank you, Latino Slam, for having Kamran on. I'm curious about his scoop with George coming back on a Luke show. Is Luke the future of Star Wars? answer to that, and then let's get
okay. Well,
Lorena's,
that's linked to that. So I put
let's
out
get
about,
Lorena's take on that afterwards.
about 2 months ago that this was at the same time where Star Wars Theory had spoken with one of Lucas's inner circle guys, if you remember, and that guy had sort of accidentally blurbed out, well, stuff I've been reading is, George is back, and he's like, what do you mean, right? He's like, oh, I shouldn't talk about that, right? And so then I had my press, like, what is this all about, right? And they're like, no, George is quietly working with Filoni on a new Jedi Order series. I mean, he's more like giving Filoni ideas. Like, people are like, well, George is retired. Look, artists don't retire, especially when it's their baby. They're always going to give ideas. Is he sitting around writing a script for it? No, he's not doing that. But he's feeding, Filoni ideas for, how would we do a new Jedi Order series if we did one, right? So that's been in the works for a while. And I'm assuming it would use Luke, because Luke is now in this universe, right? Luke is back in this universe. So that would be what we would do. But yeah, that I've heard now for a couple of months. And so that fits in. And it also fits in this thing where Lucas had been invited for the first time ever for this emergency meeting around Acolyte. And it was a total, like, cone of silence from Get Smart. Like, even my person couldn't find out exactly what happened there, right? But what did come out was that there was a directive that came out from the meeting that Iger was going to basically start the rumor mill up to embarrass Hedlund and Kennedy. Kennedy already looks incompetent for allowing this show to go on, but let's just say a lot of people have complained. The fans complained the Hedlund's connection to a Mr. Weinstein. Right. And Hollywood has largely pretended that she had Hollywood won't talk about it, as they all pretend she was another innocent victim who had nothing to do with, what was happening there. Right. But the idea being to spread at least rumors that she was more involved in the procurement of certain ladies for them. I'm not saying she did that. I'm saying that the idea would be to spread vindictive rumors to the effect that is the case and knock her out of the game in Hollywood. So that's the kind of vindictive stuff you do. I'm not saying Ms. Hedlund was involved in procuring women for Weinstein. Let me be clear about that so her lawyer doesn't call me. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that is what Iger said. I want people believing that, right? Yeah. Because that way I can get her out of this troublemaker who screwed up my, game even worse, right? So get her out of the system altogether. So that's the kind of thing that will be spreading inside of Hollywood quietly amongst people. As they like, did you know she might have done this and that? I was like, that's the kind of ugly stuff that people do in this town, spreading false rumors when powerful people. It's goes back to the silent films, nothing new there, right? So it links into all of this. But yes, as part of that, to just close this out of the most recent thing, Iger's like, look, I know you want me to pull this thing. Favreau hates this thing. He's like, get this out. It's damaging the stuff I'm trying to do. He's like, I'm gonna play it out, because it's part of my effort to discredit these two idiots, right, and get them off my chessboard. Remember, Iger's only thinking about himself. He isn't thinking about the long. That's the fundamental. I think Lorena would agree. That's the fundamental thing we can say about his entire tenure as the CEO of Disney. He only thinks about himself, and he's in constant crisis mode, right?
Okay,
dealing with his own problems.
Okay, I'm dying to get Lorena's take on everything you just dropped and read, because I did send some of this to you, Lorena.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I really do want the Acolyte to crash and burn, because as a normie Star Wars fan, I'm freaking insulted that was even put into my living room to watch. It is lousy on all fronts. I feel so bad for Lee Jung-jae, because if it was not for his performance is the only thing that's saving that character, because he has, the acting chops. And even though English is not his first language, it works perfectly for him. So it's like, I feel awful, for him, but this is a show that I just wanted to crash and burn. I really do. I've stopped.
Well, you're on board with Iger, just letting it get out there and destroy itself.
Let it burn down and eventually build itself back up. Now, speaking of that, I hadn't heard anything before about George Lucas working on something with Filoni. But like you said, Kamran, the true creatives, they never really do retire ever. They have meetings, they float stuff out there.
So Filoni says, if I was doing this, what would you think? Of course, he's going to give ideas. It's his baby.
He's going to do that. That's what they do. So that's what creatives do. But as for my interest in Luke series, no, they have burned so much goodwill as far as I'm concerned. As a fan of Star Wars, it's like The Mandalorian, Started off good. Round the season 3, wheels fell off the freaking bus. Book of Boba Fett, nah, not so great. Kenobi, nah, I did not like that one at all. Andor, I didn't like it. However, the execution of that show is top notch, and they have a tight show running process going on. So with me, that's more of a personal preference type of thing. I can't find
it
fault
feels like a
anywhere else.
political thriller in Star Wars. It's interesting. It certainly doesn't.
It's got vision. It's got vision.
It's got vision. It's shot well. The
creative guts
cinematography as well. They've got it down. You know, Pat. It's just more about not my thing.
Whether it was a gem or not. Well, listen, guys. Over 120 people live in the chat. 9 away from 12K. 9 away from 12K. We're gonna get there. Now, here's the thing. We got some beautiful super chats really quickly, including one from my mother. K Popcorn is here in the house. $20, 12K coming up. Hello, Lorena and Kamran. Good night. I tell you, man, that's a bionic woman. Four surgeries, right? 2 knees, 2 hips replaced, and she is swimming every day, walking every day.
Wow,
she is
a blessing.
Incredible. Everyone, right now, give big props and hello in the chat to Mama Slant. Love you. I will call you tomorrow. $20. Thank you so much. Michael Nimmo comes in for $5. You 3 go back in time and try to explain to fans in 2014 what has happened to the franchise. I don't think I'd believe it. It's kind of crazy, Kamran.
And Lorena. And let's just say Star Wars went to hell in a rocket wearing gasoline underwear.
I mean, and I've stated my thesis many times before that this is a fulfillment of the Chinese story of wealth. The cycle of wealth is 3 generations. The first generation creates it, second generation spends it, the third generation squanders it. So we are the 3rd generation of Hollywood. First generation was let's say golden Hollywood, let's say silent films from 1930 to 1970, right? Yeah. And then 1970, you see the corporations, the old studio heads, they fall out, they all pass away, the moguls go, and the corporations take over, and they start making corporate content. But then you have the rebels like, Coppola and Spielberg and Lucas coming at the 70s, right? For the next 40 years, you have this tension between corporate stuff and creative people, right? So you're still making good stuff because there's a creative tension, right? And then exactly 40 years from 1970, 2010, 2012 is when Disney buys Lucasfilm. So from so the 3rd generation takes over in 2010, and these are the grandchildren and the heirs of the geniuses who founded Hollywood, right? And they are people who have, unlike their grandparents who were shoe salesmen from Brooklyn, who just knew how to, make this new Nickelodeon thing work and figured out what the audience wanted, right? They just wanted to give the customer what it wanted. They were just entrepreneurs, right? You have this incredibly wealthy 3rd generation. For example, like Warner Brothers is in pure chaos now. Why? Yeah. Who was in charge of Warner Brothers before David Zaslav came up? Ann Sarnoff, right? And Ann Sarnoff was in charge of Warner Brothers, essentially collapsing, right? And to be bought out by Discovery, But who was Ann Sarnoff? Ann Sarnoff is 3rd generation. Her great uncle, like her grandfather's brother, her great uncle founded CBS. Pure 3rd generation. Her great uncle was an entrepreneur who founded CBS in like the 1920s or 30s, whenever it was, right? And now Ann Sarnoff is like the great niece of that person who's like rich country club, disconnected. Like her father, her great uncle knew what the people wanted when he created CBS television, right? She don't have any idea what's happened with him. She living in a mansion somewhere in Beverly Hills as a result of it, of his wealth, right? So she was so disconnected from reality. She grew into all kinds of garbage. And Warner Brothers went from one of the most respected studios to, a joke, to the point that Zaslav could come in and start ripping it apart, right? So this, what happened with Star Wars, is the 3rd generation takeover. Kathleen Kennedy is the leader of the 3rd generation, right? Which is somebody who, essentially is squandering the wealth of, because if you think about Star Wars, it is, Lucas is, who was Lucas built? Lucas was getting Star Wars from the golden age stuff of Buck Rogers, right? Of the serials. So that's the 1st generation of science fiction fantasy, right? Is the serials that inspired George Lucas. George Lucas comes in 2nd generation and creates Star Wars. 3rd generation, Kathleen Kennedy squanders, 100 years of science fiction fantasy.
Okay, are we ready for scoop number 2? Let's jump into it. Kamran, Rey movie ever to be a reality? Star Wars Rey movie isn't shooting anytime soon. Was Kamran Pasha right? As a scoop, you called this that World of Real validated what you had to say.
I mean,
Take it away, Kamran.
I've been saying this for a year, right? I've been saying this since the way I've been saying. Anybody goes back to my Patreon, the day that they announced this movie, where they dragged poor Daisy Ridley like a deer in headlights, on the stage where she looked terrified. What's happening here? I said this isn't real. There's no Rey movie, right? Because they just fired Damon Lindelof from the project, right? He'd been trying to make one for 3 years, and they fired him. And then a week later, she's dragged up, and they've got this new writer and this woman, Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, fellow Pakistani, who's never made a movie in her entire life. She makes documentary films. Totally different skill set. And I was like, this is a joke. This is a desperate effort by Kathleen Kennedy to reassert, like, I'm not out. I'm still got something going on. This is my baby, right? And so everything I said back then was always proved right. Like I then went to my contact because people are, Kamran, what you're talking about. Look at what's happening. I went to my contact Sparrow and they're like, none of us heard anything about no Rey movie. And they literally said to me, if anyone goes go back to my Patreon from March, April of last year, I put it out there. The Sparrow said, no one in the office knew about it. The only people who knew about this announcement was Kathleen's immediate inner circle. We were all shocked because we'd been told this thing was scrapped. And and she'd been told to scrap it by Iger. Instead, she brings on board Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy and wrangles it. And so in November of last year, that was confirmed when Daisy Ridley said that she was having a breakfast with Kathleen Kennedy, who said, we have a Rey movie. Can you come up on stage and we're going to touch? Just like wrangled her, but she had no idea. There was no plan for this. They pulled her up on stage and she didn't know. And that's exactly what my people had said at the time. And now people have been saying since January, December, this filming is about to. I was like, dude, there's no script. The scripts all suck. They're not approved. At least, Jon Favreau has a draft that they can build on for the Grogu movie, right? But that's the draft that people like. That Iger's like, yeah, keep building on this. There's no approved draft. I said this in January, and here we are now because yet again the nonsense is starting. It's going to start filming in September. I'm like, how is this movie without an approved script going to start filming in September when the Grogu movie with an approved script isn't filming until next year? I mean, people are not rational, but that became the narrative in this town for a week. And then here we go. This site comes out and says,
here we go.
The Rey movie.
There are some spreading rumors online that the Lucasfilm Rey movie, potentially titled New Jedi Order, is going to be shooting in September. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to Star Wars fans, but I don't think it's going to happen. If only I could tell you what I've been hearing when it comes to the behind-the-scenes drama with this project. I swore not to say anything, and it's killing me not to write about it, but I'm fairly certain some of it will eventually come out.
Some of it already came out.
Thoughts, Lorena?
I want to say, and I apologize for having a fuzzy memory, but I do believe I remember Kamran saying something about that this, that it was a nothing burger. I like to call it vapor movies. Like they talk about it and try to speak it into existence.
Well, I call it the fake Rey movie. That's its official title. It's not real. It's imaginary.
And I remember seeing this clip because I put it on my channel where I forget. I think was it ABC? And I don't know something where Daisy was on there and they were asking her questions, trying to basically say, the fandom's, misogynistic, and Daisy's like, no, I hadn't heard anything about it. And they're like, so we hear about, new Star Wars movie. She's like, I haven't seen a script, but I heard it's really great. I'm like,
that was like in November, December of last year. It takes a year from an approved script to even start pre-production. I mean, come on.
I'm like, it's not happening. It's not happening. It's like, it's like with software, okay, where it hasn't really been built, but they do the soft shoe and they're like, we can give you this, we can give you this, we can give you this. Okay, where is it? Yeah. Okay. They gave us money. Now we actually really have to figure out what the heck it is, that we're going to do, So I'm not really. I'm like,
let me read this to you. Let me read this to you, Kamran. Yeah. Stephen Knight's been trying to crack the script now. Stephen Knight from Pinky Blinders fame. There's issues with Knight only coming 2 years after development on the film started.
After Damon Lindelof had been working on it,
Lindelof
was
fired. Cameron, what is the normal time of a script to even pass and then say, okay, greenlit, it's ready to go?
So a movie script. Look, Damon Lindelof's been working the Ray movie for 3 years, and he couldn't get a draft that anybody wanted. 3 years, right? My personal friend, Matt Robinson, was the writer on the Rogue Squadron movie. He wrote the Rogue Squadron movie, and I won't break his confidence, but let's just say he worked with Patty Jenkins and Kathleen Kennedy for years, draft after draft, shared a lot of stories about that process, right? And he's a brilliant commercial writer. And look, there's no movie. After all those years, it's still not happening, right? Patty Jenkins will talk about, I'm going to make it. There's no movie. You know, when Patty Jenkins came out and said, oh, I'm making this movie, I call Matt. Matt's like, she didn't tell me. So I hope she is, because I'm going to get a credit, right? But it takes years. In the movies, you know, television, you have a strict time frame, right? You got the script, you're in production a few months later. That's television. It's not movies. Movies is years of nonsense, right? And so I remember when she made this announcement that she had this Peaky Blinders guy, right, Stephen Knight, and it was like during what you call it, celebrations, like March, April, right, of last year. She announced that the script would be ready in like 2 months. I'm like, 2 months? Damon Lindelof couldn't crack this in 3 years, and this dude just came on board. He's going to have a new script in 2 months with this director who's never made a movie before, who's going to guide him. And, you know, and Ray, he really doesn't know what's going on. In 2 months. And then 2 months later, they come out, well, it's still in development. So here we are a year later, where they're like, of course there's no script, because it takes years to make a movie script. And sadly, the people in the fandom don't grasp that. They get swayed away by this. Like, sure, there's a script. Like, I mean, do you know how long this process of a movie makes? Forrest Gump took 10 years from the first draft to screen. That's Forrest Gump.
Lorena, before I show you this, these two memes, I think, really typify Beit Shanoy and this Ray thing. Any other thoughts on what Cameron just said?
No, I mean he's on point. These scripts, people will say you're regular pedestrian people. I know, because it's like I used to live out there in LA for like 5 years. There's a long lead time that it takes before a movie even starts shooting. There's so much upfront work that needs to get done. So it's not like, hey, I got the script, or I heard about the script, and guess what? We're shooting next month. It doesn't work that way. But how it does work is to get people talking. And like Kamran was saying, you have people who will get the stuff out, who will put stuff out, who will put information or misinformation out there to see how it takes root and how, something's gonna go over.
The idea is exactly build up. If they can show there's audience demand for this, like everyone is on fire, we need to see this movie right now, right? Like, if leaks start coming for a Deadpool Wolverine movie, the audience like, we want that. Then that accelerates the production of the Deadpool Wolverine movie, which is kind of what happened, right?
So with that here, do you think they'll announce these movies in hopes to get traction, actually get funded? That's what they're hoping.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's been no traction.
Correct.
Absolutely no traction. And that's what this fake,
because she won't accept it. Nobody wants her beautiful character.
Okay, let's show you this. Let's show you this, guys. This was about 5 years ago, 2020. Mandalorian Jon Favreau thinks it's important for Star Wars creatives to listen to fans and keep their feedback in mind. That's from 2020. Okay? Got it, guys? Got it? All right, here we go.
And he still has that belief, yes.
Star Wars new Jedi Order director says she will ignore fan criticism. I'm just drowning out those voices until I'm done.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, Charmise, you're never starting. She's delusional. She's never made a movie. They're going to give her a $200 million movie. She's never made a movie.
She's made a documentary. That's it.
I mean, I have close friends who are documentary filmmakers, award-winning documentary filmmakers, and they have struggled to break into narrative filmmaking because the skills are the exact opposite.
I'm going to stop you though. because Kamran and Lorena, I know a documentary filmmaker as well. Brandon Lorne Maxwell did American Homeboy. And you know what? He's all about the audience.
Great.
He is all about the audience. That's why it was so independently successful last year. So I don't buy that. She should know.
That narrative.
Hold on. Excuse me. Kamran, hold on. She should know better. She should effing know better that you don't drown it out. You take what you can, what you like, and you leave the rest.
No, but you know why she doesn't know better? I'll tell you why she doesn't know better. She's won 2 Oscars for these crap documentaries. Why did she win 2 Oscars for these documentaries? Because they serve a political narrative. She is Pakistani. I am Pakistani. Her narrative, the 2 movies are about how terrible Pakistan is, what a horrible religion Islam is. And guess what? That's kind of Hollywood's narrative. Islam sucks. Pakistanis are fanatics. They abuse all their people. They abuse their women. Guess what? You can make 2 bad movies with that theme and they will give you Oscars because it serves their political narrative. Her whole agenda has been, she doesn't care. People in Pakistan are horrified. Like, why are you making these movies that are misrepresenting our country? Like, she don't care what 200 million people in her home country thinks. She just wants that Oscar. She wants them kissing her butt in LA, right? So of course she doesn't care what Star Wars fans think. She doesn't care about people. She cares about promoting herself.
It's such a powerful aphrodisiac, Lorena. This whole allure of you like me, you really like me. That's such a sick part of the business. It really destroys like your creative vision. Anyways, any last thoughts on this before we listen to read some super chats?
I'll just verify, Paulie, with what you're saying. In Hollywood, that is very addictive. When the people like, or let's put it this way, the people that you have around you are like, no, this is great. You're perfect. You're wonderful. You're a genius. You need to do this. You need to do that.
Yeah.
And you get so insulated that you can't hear anything else, penetrating your bubble. So good luck with that, saying you're going to ignore what the people want. Or what the people are interested in. Or the
Star Wars fans want, what the fans want.
What the Star Wars fans want. And then you're wondering, why isn't this making money? Why do
so lovely? It's so lovely. And yet it's so right in fashion with Hollywood elites, with bubble makers that have no creative guts. They're just making crap for themselves. Absolutely 100%. Okay. Got 2 super chats here. Ahsoka was flawed. Jonathan G94, thank you so much for $10, $9.99. Was flawed, but Anakin Skywalker was fantastic and fleshes out his role as the chosen when approaching God-level power. This is key to Star Wars' future. Reminds me in many ways of Cisco in Season 9. DS9.
Sorry, DS9. He was the emissary, right? So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. Go for it, guys. Thoughts on this one?
Nice I liked Ahsoka, and for me that was part of it. I was glad to see Hayden back. I love Hayden as an actor. I think Hollywood did him dirty. I don't think he was fairly treated. I think Mark Hamill similarly unfairly treated. But he eventually got his career back, and Hayden really hasn't shown the way he deserved to. I'm just glad to see him working again.
100%.
Yeah, Ahsoka was very flawed. Anakin, I love Hayden, but I really didn't think that his character was as good in Ahsoka. That's just me. As for this is key to being Star Wars future, you have to make us believe that people earn what they get with the hero's journey. And if they stick with that, because that's also what happened with Cisco, he was flawed from the beginning. He had to deal with everything that had happened to him, losing his wife, having to raise his son on his own, being in this place out in like the ass end of space and having a brand new, thing of problems and diplomatic ties that he had to make. You saw the character progress. So
yeah.
Maybe they'll do that in season 2, but I don't see that in season 1.
Okay, let's move on. Woof woof for $2. Lorena, can D-Land Tiana's ride be saved or too late?
I'm going to be pessimistic and say too late. I really am. It's just they're already doing construction on it. No, No.
Too late. Shanatsky, a good buddy of ours, for $2. Audience pays the bills. No audience, no industry. We love the audience, Kamran.
Well, yeah, but rich heirs don't remember. That was the philosophy of their grandparents who came from Brooklyn, who were shoe salesmen, right? Who were like, you got to sell shoes, you got to give the people what they want, right? The philosophy of their grandchildren who are living in Beverly Hills mansions, who have never worked a day in their lives and have $100 million trust funds. Money grows on trees for such people.
They've never gone east of La Brea. All right, let's put it like that.
That would horrify them. I mean, yeah.
Okay. Of course. Hashtag Kamran Pasha was right. Hey, Polly. Hey, everyone. Hope everyone is feeling groovy. Lovely Lorena. We love you, Courtney. Much love to you. Okay, all the great super chats, fantastic. We are just so we're where are we at? Let me check right now. Let me update, guys. It's still at 9. We're stuck at 9. We need 9 more subs to get to 12K.
I have to leave relatively soon. I would be very sad if I leave and this thing hasn't gone to 12K while I'm here.
Let's get to 12K, guys.
Let's get
to
12K.
We can do this. Come on.
We can do this.
Press the button. Why does it press a button? Press it.
Thank you guys for all the super chats. We'll be right back. Okay, I wanted to take this out really quickly and then bring back the panel in right away. This is the next story coming on up, is that Hollywood, the box office is once again saved by the U.S. Latino audiences. But does Hollywood owe us anything? I say they don't owe you, the Latino creatives, a damn thing. One has got nothing to do with the other. And I appreciate these efforts of LA Collab and all these other people coming out here and they're trying to put that light that fire behind and get Hollywood going. And let me just read this really quickly. Latino audiences are the secret to Godzilla and King Kong, Bad Boys, Inside Out 2. Latinos coming in Hollywood's rescue again, dear Hollywood. You can thank us by hiring Latinos in green lighting and consumer-facing decision rooms. We are ready and not hard to find. So stop with the we would if we could find them. Embracing our talent is a win-win for everyone. As we know, Latinos are showing up at theaters like never before, and our disproportionality higher ticket buyers than any other demographic. New releases, etc., have been thrust into success thanks to Latino and Hispanic moviegoers. We are rebuilding the industry following the pandemic and 2 paralyzing labor strikes. So Hollywood, please pay us back. No, thank you. That's not how it works. Let me tell you why. Those people already hired by all those studios, Latinxers that are in those positions, or Latinos, right? I'll be nice. I'll say Latinos. They haven't greenlit a damn thing. They're already in place. It's a check mark already. Do you guys understand this? That one has got nothing to do with the other. Latino audiences love everything. Yes, they're the biggest movie-going audience. We love that. They're saving cinema. I love cinema. But you can't. This is not how capitalism works, right? If you really, really want to do this, all those big organizations, Nadlib and I don't know what, then you put your money where your mouth is and you fund films, you fund TV shows. Don't give yourself each other's awards. Don't write another article. Don't do another panel because I'm sick of it. I want nothing to do with it. It is wasted energy and you're not seeing the big picture here. The big picture is that they already have been hired. They're gatekeepers and they're not getting anything done. My lovely panel, come on in. And what do you guys have to say?
As Lorena knows, I'm a big follower of Malcolm X, and Malcolm X would have predicted all of this. One of the reasons Malcolm X was against many of the forms of affirmative action that were being presented in his time were like, this is all just being used to create puppets and to create people that can be controlled by the system, right? He wanted Black people to get away from all of this. He's like, I'm not going to play this role, of being your marionette, right? And serve as a gatekeeper to control the narrative. So that's what's been done with minorities. It's been done with the Latino community in particular, because they fear the Latino community. You and I talked about this over lunch. They fear the Latino community because it is such economically successful and becoming such an important part of the audience space, but they can't control it. They don't understand it. It has political ideas on the Middle East and other things, as Melissa Barrera showed, that do not align with Hollywood, and they won't align their cultural values. Like Latinx didn't work, right? A lot of the extreme rainbow narrative, Latinos aren't interested in it, right? Doesn't mean they're oppressing their gay cousin. It just means they're not interested in this way this narrative is going in Hollywood, right? And so they have put in their Latinx seat holders to control that, and those people ain't gonna let others in, as Malcolm X predicted.
That in there.
Kamran, you are 100% right. Back in the day, when Hollywood did not want to invest in Black movies, or like, oh no, it's not going to make any money, you had people like Robert Townsend, like the Hudlin brothers, even like Ice Cube. Guess what? They said, you know what? We're going to take our money, we're going to make our own films. And they started to make money. Hollywood's like, oh, okay, well, they're going to make money, so let's get our people in there, the people that we want, the people who are going to spread the messages that we want, to greenlight the films that we want, which is why you're not getting Hollywood films showing Black men as strong father figures for the most part, nuclear families. They're like, no, we're not about that. The same thing that's happening when they're coming after the Latino community, especially with this whole Latinx thing, which is complete and total BS, but they think it's great. So that's what they want to do. And you're absolutely right. They will, and I call this, one of my favorite Black conservative commentators says that they have their Black faces to puppet what these people want. You see them when they come out. You see them when they're yelling and screaming. Like, I forget what's her name, who's on the BET Awards or something like that. No, Taraji P. Henderson lost her crap telling people they need to, vote for Biden. They're just like, what the heck is this lady talking about? It's the same thing.
Her audience wasn't the Black community. Her audience was Hollywood.
Yeah.
They want is like who can hire for her next job.
Exactly. They're always auditioning for that next job. But yeah, these are the people that they want, the people that they can control. They don't want diversity. They want the diversity that they can control, which is a different thing.
I mean, I just experienced this. I just experienced this in the past 2 weeks. I walked away from a major project I was developing that was brought to me by very significant producers that my agents were really excited about. I put a lot of effort into it. It's based on a series of novels that had been written by a Pakistani woman about a Pakistani cop in the Midwest. And so the Pakistani woman was a cop. So that's an interesting thing, like how to be a religious Pakistani Muslim woman as a police officer in the Midwest, right? And so I thought the novels were interesting. I came up with a very adaptable take on how to make them work. I was pretty passionate about it. And then they brought on people who, a director and others who called me, and they're like, look, you know what? Great take you've got here, but let's just take the religion out. And these are people of Muslim origin who are being brought in to bring them. I'm like, am I not Islamic enough face for this? They're like, but they brought in others, right? Because obviously it could kind of sense that I wouldn't necessarily go along with the narratives. So they brought in others, right? And then I'm getting this hour-long call from a fellow Muslim who's been brought in to oversee me and say, yeah, I think we need to get religion out of this. I think it's too earnest. And I was like, so these are popular books. And the character's whole thing is that she's a conservative religious Muslim woman in a Midwestern police thing. And the conflicts are going, she's falling in love with the guy, but can she be with the guy? These are the conflicts that come with being that character. You want to take that out? Then there's nothing there. It's just a white woman that says she's Pakistani, right? It doesn't mean anything. It has she's out having sex and drinking, whatever. You got lots of characters doing that. What about a woman that wants to do those things and says, no, my religion doesn't let me do it. But I kind of am drawn to this sexy guy at the office, but I don't want to. That's an interesting character in 2024 as a police officer, right? And I was like, no. And I walked, and when I was like, you guys going down this direction? Nah, I'm out. I mean, this was a major project that could have potentially sold to TV series, and they were shocked that I walked away. I said, you're not going to corrupt my culture. I'm not going to do it. And I had to say that to fellow Muslims who were like, I don't want to associate with Islam anymore. I was like, I do. We have a problem. And I'm sure the author, if the author ever finds out what happened, she'll blow her lid. She'll blow her lid because I was trying to protect her vision. But I just experienced it. The gatekeepers put on there telling me to back off from my authenticity.
And here's the thing. They're trying to keep their jobs. They're trying to keep their influence. They're trying to keep their connections. Every Latinx, whatever you want to call it, Mamadas show that has been greenlit, that has had a season or two the last 5 years, they're all gone because they're terrible. No one watches them. They're canceled, right? They can then the bad part is that the ones of merit get the same acts too, because we did the check mark. Doesn't really follow our politics, but we can say we did the check mark, and we won't market it. You won't know about the show. It will be buried. Also, too, the Georgia Lopez versus Lopez is the worst rated show comedy on NBC, and it's staying on air solely because of George Lopez. Solely because, and it got a third season, a green light. Absolutely. Just that is and those guys have been they've been licking the boots of every wokoso in Hollywood, as you can imagine.
Oh, they're famous for that. I mean, let's just
get that they got their third season. I mean, at what price, Lorena? At what price do we do? It's the price of our souls, of our identity, of our culture.
The price is they're on TV and you're not. That's the price, right? I mean, they think
at what price do they sell themselves out, bro? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking you.
Some of them just do. It's sad. Some of them just do not care. It's like so. I want to get mine.
Where's that?
As long as I got mine, I don't care what people do. I don't care how they see me. I don't care what kind of damage or stereotypes I reinforce about my culture. I got my money and I'm living large.
My mother's show.
Well, we go back to my friend Sharmino Bechunoy. She has 2 Oscars for doing that.
Hey guys, 8 more.
Come on.
8 more.
Come on,
we got this. The great Rosa Para is in the chat right now. She's our film critic on thelatinосlant.com. Sound of Hope is a beautiful depiction of a nuclear family worth watching. Incredibly moving and inspirational. Her review is up. It's running. And Angel Studios loved her comment so much that they put it on the poster, where Rosa calls the movie, it's not a movie, it's a movement. Woo, Latino slant. I was like, yeah.
I can't wait. I'm going to see that this weekend. There's billboards around Orlando from Angel Studios promoting that film.
Love it.
So
no one in Hollywood is talking about it, by the way. No one in Hollywood is talking about it.
You guys got time for one more quick one? One more quick one?
No, nobody in Hollywood even knows that movie exists.
One more quick one. Yeah. Lorena, you going to stick around? You got to go.
Lorena, I have to leave in about 5 minutes. Lorena, how much time?
Let's go. Let's do this. Denzel,
I can go. Let's do this.
This is you because Denzel got some heat.
Yep.
About first look images in regards to Gladiator 2. What's happening here? Let's put this image up.
Put the image up. It's a good image.
Because I love this image. I was like,
what's the controversy that you heard? Because I have a couple of I pulled some statements from some different commentary online. But go ahead, Lorena.
I'm so glad you asked me that, Paulie. You will have some people who will say, there are no black people in the Roman Empire. Yeah, I know, right, Kamran?
Half of the Roman Empire was Africa.
Lasers shot out of my eyes. But I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. Yeah. And that's what I heard. It's a race swap character. I'm like, well, I didn't know exactly what character he played. I didn't care. I just know he looked good in this picture. Okay.
This guy owns it. Look at it. He looks like a Roman senator right there, right?
So his role is that he's a very wealthy arms dealer, slave owner, or not slave, but gladiator owner. He's the Oliver Reed character from the first one. That's his character. I think it's based
So
off
he's
of
like
someone.
Batiatus from Spartacus.
Yeah, it was based off of like a real person. Obviously, they weren't as dark as or whatever that means as Denzel, but I have a very hard time. Let me read a couple of these things.
Oh,
Here.
they don't.
Well,
They
guess what?
don't.
Denzel.
They don't know.
Guess what? Malcolm X wasn't as dark as Denzel. Malcolm X was multiple shades lighter than Denzel, and Denzel nailed him.
Here's some mixed reactions to Denzel being cast in the movie.
Uh-huh.
Black Roman Imperator? Ha 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 ha. Great job, woke historians. What in the woke is that casting? Can you leave period movies out of all of this, please? These are actually real statements here.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. LOL, this section comment ain't it. First, no, Denzel is not, and this is someone backing him up, is not playing an emperor here. He's playing a wealthy merchant. And secondly, for God's sake, there was a black emperor, Septimus Severus. Google is free, people.
We talked about this at lunch, and you'll know this, Lorena. Hadrian's Wall that Hadrian, the Emperor Hadrian, built in England to keep the Scottish Picts from invading England, right? The Roman colony of what is now England. It's still there, Hadrian's Wall. It was built by black African Roman soldiers. They were all soldiers from Africa who built that wall that we have today, right? In England. Black soldiers were running England.
And this so goes to he was freaking badass. Here's the thing, what people do not realize, and a lot of it is ignorance on the part of history. I have a certain bias because after researching my family's history and finding out where they all came from and finding out that, exactly. Moors, also Tuaregs, they're in the Sahel region of North Africa. For some reason, I tell people the way that the Mediterranean looks now is not completely the way that it looked like during the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire was the crossroads of the world. Okay. You had all shades of people that were Roman citizens, and it is not far-fetched that someone of Denzel's complexion would have this type of station in the Roman Empire. I don't know why people are so threatened about that fact, but it's a fact.
Great.
Okay. North Africa is an ethnic, it's a nationality designation. If you go and, like, for example, I didn't find this out until I looked at like the Tuareg people. They were darker than me. Yeah. Some lighter than me. Some
they were famous for the blue paint that they would wear, right?
Yes, the blue paint that they would put on.
Yeah.
Anything with Denzel, I'm likely to give benefit of the doubt. I'll see it where it goes. Pretty good track record. Let's ignore the much ado about nothing ever happened.
Yeah, we can.
Here's how. But I want to say this. Because this is what Lorena and I would talk about on the phone. There's a lot, sadly, there is a lot of truth to some of the critique that was done by Wokosos against the fandom, because there are people that are unwittingly racist in the fandom. They hide behind the politics of we are against misrepresentation by extreme leftists, but that's a nice, useful mask to hide the fact that something else is going on. You and I have talked about this privately, and it makes me sad that the phenomenon continues, and these people don't want to learn history. They get upset, and a lot of them call themselves Christians. I'm like, Christian, St. Augustine? North African. St. Augustine was North African. Right? If you're a Christian, you might want to read up some St. Augustine. He's quite an interesting guy from Africa, right? So it upsets me profoundly because I'm a pretty conservative guy. I'm a Malcolm X follower. I'm a pretty conservative guy, right? And what you can say about the Romans, they were cruel, vicious guys that crucified people. They had a pretty ugly form of slavery, all that stuff, but they weren't actually racists. They weren't. You became a Roman citizen. You were a Roman citizen, right? They crucified them. They had white slaves. They had black slaves. They had all kinds of slaves. It wasn't a racial-based slavery, right? A black owner could have white slaves. And if he was a Roman citizen, he got all the privileges. So you can critique the Roman society, but you can't really critique it for racism. That wasn't how they saw themselves.
So, yes to everything you guys said, but why do we always have to explain ourselves? I hate that.
Good point.
I hate that. So my big picture on this is, you know what? Cope. Because for decades, Latino written, Black written characters have been, for lack of better words, whitewashed for decades. So, part of me is like, you know what? I don't give an F. Right? This is, so that's one part, because I got a laundry list of great characters, from Zorro to Vasquez and Aliens to it's even as there's so many recent characters where
Vasquez was literally brown faced. I mean, she's a good actress. She was a good actress, but she was brown faced to do the role.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, right? It's like, again, why do I got to explain myself? Yeah. Right? It's like, well, they explained that. Wow, hey man.
Oh, it was like the people that came out with Ana de Armas was Marilyn.
Yeah. Give me a second here. Because you bring up that good point with Janine Goldstein, who was incredible as Vasquez. No one questioned her. She was great. She's part of Kamran's crew of people. Why would you question Denzel Washington? Why would you question Pedro Pascal? Why would you question Oscar Isaac? It's because you don't like their politics? Because you don't like that they have a different skin color? That is, in effect, being a bigot, being an idiot, being an ignoramus. Give me a fucking break. That's what I meant, Kamran. Mm-hmm. Why do we always got to you get the role, right? You know what? And it's based off of merit. Hey, we just want the best actors for this. We just want the best. We want the meritocracy. Mamadas, right there with your meritocracy, because you got it. I got a great star for you. His name is Denzel Washington. He's been delighting audiences for almost 40 years, over 40 years. And you sling that garbage out when you see an image. Check yourselves, guys. Sorry, Kamran, didn't mean to.
No. I interrupted you.
But that's where I'm at, guys. That was fun. Any other last comments on this stuff?
No, I was just going to add something to what you said, Paulie, about like, why the heck should we have to explain ourselves? It's like, no, we shouldn't have to. Case in point, I remember when it got announced that Antoine Fuqua was going to be doing a movie about Hannibal and Denzel Washington was cast and they were going to film it in Tunisia. I was like, oh, this is going to be off the chain. You hear the Hannibal wasn't Black, this and other. So you know what? I said, I don't care. The country of Tunisia doesn't care. Antoine Fuqua has so much freaking money. Do you think he cares? No. Doesn't give a crap about that. I was like, I don't either. Tell me when the movie comes out, because I'll be there.
Yeah, but
it's the popcorn.
I just posted to one of lovely person Yolanda on
in the chat,
who was pointing out that the Moors were Semitic, and they were originally Arabs, Moros. They were originally Arabs, but they intermixed. Because I know I've written a show about Moorish Spain, right? So I've researched it a lot. They intermixed with the Tuaregs, and they intermixed with the Africans, right? So one of my good friends, Kamal Mohammed, is an actor in Hollywood, Moroccan actor from Morocco, right? You met him. He looks like a black sub-Saharan African guy from Nigeria or Kenya. He's full-blooded Moroccan, right? And that you see that. I've been to Morocco, the full range. You've got people that look like white Syrians from Damascus, and you got people that look African. That's Morocco, and that's Morocco today, and that was Morocco back in the days of Rome.
But see that, yes, Kamran. But this community of fandoms, whatever the F you want to call it, they've bred such an ignorant film within us. So when you get this knee-jerk reaction, and I get it, Ziegler deserves it. Okay, she's a little bit of a shit. I get it. But then you go after someone's race, you go after someone's ethnicity, after their family,
Yes.
What are the big channels breeding here? I want nothing to do with it.
Amen.
Because if I got to keep explaining myself, then you're not, what the fuck for?
Yeah.
What the fuck for? Okay.
On that note, I got to start winding down here, so forgive me.
We just have super chats and let's get right here. Jair Molina for $2. Cameron, Adil Bala did good slap, and BB4 a hit.
So I've written about in the past that they were these two gentlemen, the directors there, they were proteges of Will Smith, who they are Muslim Moroccan or Algerian, I think, Algerian French, right? I believe the North African French, and they were proteges of Will Smith. And I had said for some time that the moment that Will Smith took his hit with the slap, that this town was waiting to get rid of them, and they lost a lot of projects. They were supposed to do Beverly Hills Cops. They lost Batgirl. A lot of things went wrong for them, but they've come back now. With Bad Boys 4, and it was a hit. So I wish them success. I think this town still isn't all that excited about advancing Muslim directors. It just isn't. And so, you just keep bringing those hits, boys. That's your only leverage.
They did a great job. I really liked the last two. I had a lot of fun. Did you like those Bad Boy movies?
I did. I didn't get a chance to see the fourth one, but every one of the Bad Boys movie I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good time. They are fun.
They're fun. I haven't seen this fourth one either myself yet, but I enjoyed the first three, and they did a very good job on the third one, which is hard to keep after all so many years, to keep the feeling of those first two, and they did it. That's not easy.
Well, I'm bringing back the producer in. I'm sure he has thoughts in regards to, as an Afro-Latino, which I do know that Fletcher is. As we say, buenas and hasta la próxima to Lorena and Kamran. Fletch, anything you want to say to our departing panels?
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. And I want to also, thank you for such great insights, because, it's always a party when Kamran and Lorena is here. So I really, really hope you guys, come back soon and really bring the spice, because, man.
I would love to do it. I've been on Lorena's channel.
That's what I'm saying.
We can do this again. I love to do it again.
Do it. That's how we do it. Yeah.
I've only got a handful of people left that I trust on YouTube, and Lorena's among them. So yes.
There you go. The Pasha. What did somebody say earlier, Paulie?
We could do the Latino slant featuring Lorena Creo and Pasha.
Pasha.
If Lorena's open to it, I'm happy to do it again. So.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe we'll definitely talk to I talk to Cameron like a couple times a week. Okay, let's have you guys. Let's make you guys big and plug your wares, and we just love having you guys here. Let's start with ladies first, shall we?
Okay, well, folks, first of all, thank you so much for having me here. This was absolute blast, especially with Kamran on the panel as well. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on X, causing all kinds of havoc, and I just enjoy every single minute of it. And of course, you can find me on YouTube, various videos, live streams. I talk about pop culture, sci-fi analysis, take you guys out to the theme parks and give you unfiltered, unbiased opinions about them. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern, of course, is the Spice Lounge, where we bring the hot takes, the spicy conversation on hot topics and main topics. So we're actually going to be talking about the new Axel F movie, of course, Beverly Hills Cop 4. We're talking about that, but also talking about Tiana's Busted Bayou adventure and how much of a freaking embarrassment it is that Disney has screwed this up for their first Black princess. So we're gonna talk about that. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. And Senor Pasha, ¿qué pasa?
Well, the best place for people to reach out to me now is my Patreon, which has very much come alive. We've got several hundred really great subscribers, members who've created a real community. There's a lot of conversation there, and there's a lot of interesting thoughts that I don't always have, and people add to it. But we have some scoops now and then. But I hope people will come just because it's an interesting place of conversation. So we had some fun scoops as this video was about today. But also for those of you who are aspiring writers or filmmakers, I have a consulting service that's offered through the Patreon. And higher level members get substantial discounts. And this month I'm giving an extra 10% on top of that. So if you have a screenplay, or if you've got a novel you've been working on, or a short story, you can come and you can get direct consulting from me. Most professional screenwriters don't actually offer that, or they offer that at $20,000 a pop. I'm a lot more affordable than that, and I've had quite a few people on Patreon join. In fact, one gentleman was a Latino, brilliant writer on the Patreon. He had written a script. I gave very heavy notes on it, and he did the work, and now he's winning awards at film festivals with this new draft. And another friend of mine there did consulting with me on his first book that he wanted to publish through Amazon. And again, I was hard on him, and I was like, this, because I've published novels, I'm like, this is what you got to do. He did the work, and now he's become a bestseller in his section. Put his first book out, became a bestseller on Amazon, right? And so I can't guarantee that's going to be for everybody, so where you are in your journey. But please come on the Patreon. You can get consulting services with me directly. And I've actually just posted for the first time ever for sort of the higher level Patreon members, my new script that I'm working on, a new short film that I'm making about young Marilyn Monroe. It's based on a larger writing about her. And so if you want to come on the Patreon, you might actually be able to read that and hope you'll be entertained by it. So I'm going to throw in a link to the Patreon there, but please come join everyone. Even when we're gone, please stick around and get him over 12K. Come on.
Don't 6 away.
Yeah.
6 away, guys.
We're almost
got like 1 or 2 things to go over. We have an alien Romulus Fede Alvarez spotlight. So our writer from Mexico wrote a great spotlight on Fede. So we're going to feature that right now. There's just always some good stuff happening. I don't know has anyone seen The Acolyte? There's a new episode tonight.
No, I don't have Disney Plus. I canceled that last week.
Yeah.
I haven't watched one episode. I have no interest in watching it.
Yeah.
Let this thing. It's like a bad odor. Just let it float by in the air. Just let it float by.
Right.
It was steamy today. Steamy.
Oh, you saw it? Oh boy. Oh boy.
I don't have time to sniff somebody else's farts, right?
Not watching either, Chris.
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, guys, lady and gentlemen.
So we're going to continue on. You still got stuff here. So everyone, we're taking off, but everyone stick around here and get him over to 12K. I want to get a text from Paulie tonight that we did it. All right.
Woohoo.
Good night, guys.
All right,
wrestling.
Wonderful seeing you. We'll see you soon. Okay.
Thank you.
Adios. All right, my brother. We have a new poll going on.
That's right.
Let's thank our panelists. We're going to have them back probably in like 2 weeks. Next week we have a big announcement, big show, really big show going on next week. Big show. What do we got poll results from the last one? Let's read those for me.
Oh yeah. So right now for the poll results, we have what Star Wars shows are you looking forward to? And basically the winner was number 4, rewatch the OGs. Number 2 was Ahsoka season 2, which with 21%, that's a lot of people. Because there was almost over 100 on the poll that voted. Number 3 was the new Rey movie at 3%, and the 2 was the Acolyte with just 1%. So
I mean that sounds about right.
Yeah,
with 103 votes, Fletcher, you came up with another great poll here, but yeah. Of those other obviously everyone's going to rewatch the OGs, but who the heck is going to watch? Like, who's going to continue watching Ahsoka? Guys, just boycott it. Just stop watching it. Stop giving it any attention. What else with this poll? Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really surprising how many people did enjoy Ahsoka. We did have a lot of people in the chat that did enjoy it. Yep. So obviously it did have some fans, and hey, you guys are getting rewarded because there might be a season 2 coming up. I mean,
hold on,
we're talking about it. So
hold on. Darth Plato, who's a member of the channel, says, watch it for us, Paulie. Every week, you guys, because I made that announcement a few weeks ago, Fletcher, I'm stopping Acolyte. I'm stopping Disney Star Wars. I'm not watching anything new from Disney Star Wars. I'm not even going to watch Andor. Right? It's done, Fletch. But a member here is saying, watch it for us, Paulie.
Yeah. See, Paulie? The members are crying out for your help. Help us, Paulie. You're our only hope, they're saying. And you know what you missed? You
Why
missed
do you hate Paulie like that? What did I miss? What did I miss?
Well, you missed, Smilo Ren getting all, like basically naked on a show, designed mostly for kids, and having a little bit of a sea bath on there. So it was definitely spicy for the ladies. So.
I mean, I saw his training footage of him training his martial arts. I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to see anything else.
Did you see him headbutt a lightsaber?
Come on, Paulie, prove that you could take it like hot chili contest. Darth, Rosa, do it. I'll send you some tamales. Ooh.
Nice. See the pot.
But see,
keeps getting sweeter.
But listen, I'm actually on a diet. I've actually dropped a lot of weight because I'm like on like day 7 of eating clean. I can't eat tamales right now.
Rosa's tamales are probably gluten free or whatever you California guys do. Send us some chicken tamales, Rosa. The chicken on chicken or something. I don't know. Whatever vegetable you put in, I tell my wife, chickens are vegetables, so just make it a chicken tamale.
But that's kind of sacrilegious on eating a real tamal, like a gluten-free? Are you kidding me? Gluten-free tamal. That's an oxymoron, dude. It's an oxymoron. Just saying.
I guarantee you a gluten-free tamale is going to cost you like $8.
Just saying. What else do we have here? We got 2 new members or one recurring. New member, Pamela Dunham. Pamela Dunham has become a YouTube member. Pamela, muchísimas gracias. We're going to be doing another watch party with Paul Chato. We're going to have a lot of fun, and members get to come on the panel with me and Paul. So we do a lot of cool things like that, as well as bring on directors and actors, and panel and members get to come on and ask questions. Thank you for that. Returning for 36 months from the state of, I think you're in, what state are you in right now? Colorado or Philadelphia? Pennsylvania. It's Courtney, Fellowship of Oddballs, 3 years. Woo, woo. Love you, Paulie. Woo. Woo, 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 woo. Okay, I'm back. I can't believe my membership was canceled. It's okay. It happens. Love you, girl. Love you, girl. This is for the new membership for Pamela and for the return of It's Courtney. Okay, I got an update. Woo-hoo! I have an update. Drum roll, please. Drum roll.
We made it.
Subs to 2,000. No, we're 5 away.
What?
5 subs away from 12K. I should stay on the air until we get 12. Until we get 5 more. I should. That would be cool. Colorado, but now from Philly. Love you, girl. Chatto's so cool. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a Chatto watch along movies, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So members, look out for that, as well as you guys get previews sometimes of videos before anyone else. Okay, we got a new poll in the chat.
Yes.
Okay. Already 54 of you have voted. Are you excited for Gladiator 2? Here are your choices. 1, yes, Denzel and Pascal. 2, no. 1, Maximus, and I'm done. Oh my God, that's like in second place.
Oh,
Wow.
that's second place.
Wow. 3, maybe, waiting for slant review. That's first place. Okay, you guys are smart. 4, we got Gladiator at home. That's actually in last place.
Yeah, shocking.
So yeah, so make sure to vote. What else is going on?
Well, No Critical Thinker says that FYI, tamales are gluten free. No gluten in natural corn. Ha ha. Ha ha.
Critical. That's if you just have the masa. Who in the world eats a masa only tamal, sin queso, sin carne, and then without any verde, without any rojo? Come on, Fletcher,
There's
come on.
gluten in salsa now? How's there gluten in salsa?
Listen, I'm not gonna watch the Acolyte. It's not gonna happen. I'll just, what's fun is having guests on who watch it and you see their trauma. You see their trauma. Kale and pumpkin. Oh, that sounds awful.
See?
That's almost like what a Latinx would eat. Yes. Can I have a honey vanilla latte and a kale and pumpkin tamale? The tamal. I want one authentic from Oaxaca, but it has to have these ingredients. So can you do it right now as I inflect and how I talk right now to my other life partner as we wait for our food and our lattes?
Why are you so intolerant, Paulie?
We're throwing out laughs. We're almost done here, guys. I do want to I am going to show the Alien Romulus article in a second. What else we got to what are we doing for next week? Here, let's put this up for next week. Disruptive like that? He liked that comedy. Sounds like the character from Beverly Hills Cop. Oh, my name is Saj, and then I have the shirt too.
Yeah, all you need is a banana in the tailpipe.
Banana tailpipe. Yeah. Oh, that movie's coming out. Axel.
Yeah, that's Axel. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do for 4th of July. We're gonna be very chill. 4th of July. James says, watching Theory in real time, reacting to Acolyte is hilariously entertaining. That poor boy. Well, he's not poor, but you know what I mean. He ain't poor.
Yeah,
he ain't poor. Give him a big shout out. Give him a big shout out. If you can survive the Rise of Skywalker, you can survive the Acolyte. Bruh. I'm trying, every time I think about that film, Fletcher, it's like a terrible trauma, nightmarish memory. Like
I've tried to PTSD.
It's total PTSD. Thank you.
I was like,
Thank you.
My wife was talking to me about it, and we were like, she was like, okay, so wait a minute, in which lineup are they, and what was the name of those ones that we saw, and we couldn't even think of the name. Like, I couldn't even think of the name of, like, oh yeah, one was what,
right.
the new one or something, and we couldn't even think of the names. It was so forgettable, It's like, the one where the horses were riding on top of the ship, and she's like, that happened? I'm like, yeah, that happened.
And you know what? I'm convinced they made up everything. Every scene was made up on set.
Yeah, it was like ad-lib.
It really was. And it really was a disaster.
Let the ships come out of the IC because that makes sense. That's not going to damage them.
Yeah.
But they have no force field after they came out from the crushing
Absolute
sea
garbage.
of ice, and then they have horses riding on them. Yeah, that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great.
Polly asked Daniel, "Do you think Latinos are going to show up big time for Despicable Me 4?" Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Our review is up. Rosa Para called it Despicable Me. Hey, this goes to show you, man. You can't buy our reviews, but you can sign up for them. The newsletter at thelatinosland.com. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be nearly the Inside Out. Inside Out 2? Inside Out, is that what it's called?
Inside Out too.
But it's summertime. The kids are out. We were at the theaters last night, guys, and we saw The Quiet Place, packed. The theater was packed. That theater and the cinema was the Cinemaplex. Families, raza, black. Boom, they were having a good time. So yeah, what's up? Calling it Gladiator 2 reeks of desperation. I'm late to man, you late. You gotta we had some hot takes. You got to see our hot takes on that. What was your hot take? What is your take on the Gladiator 2?
Oh well, anything with Denzel, I go watch. So it's kind of like a double thing because I'm like, oh man, it's got Pedro Pascal, but then it's like, well, but it's got Denzel, so Denzel always trump Pascal.
Well, don't say that to Lily. Well, you guys are gonna have a stream tomorrow. So
oh yeah. She knows that he's the one that likes him.
Yeah. Well, Romy, and for anyone new to the channel, guys, Romy Diaz, who's an actor in the business, is my wonderful girlfriend. Theater actress, TV film. Her and Pascal did a lot of theater together back in the day. That's another thing is that people are saying like, oh, why is he getting all these roles right now? He's the flavor of the month. That guy worked for 20 years before he got any fame or notoriety. He's a very, very, in my opinion, my humble opinion, as a very versatile and talented actor. Okay, all right. So where were we?
Set. Take on Gladiator.
Oh yes, go. Sorry.
No, yeah, like I said, anything with Denzel that usually go see. It's kind of like a guarantee. If Denzel's in it, I'll go there. Boom, first thing. Always check it out.
Pet Brett, absolutely. Get your opinion out. I'm down with that. I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to see a really heated conversation, we had it. So I don't want to when you hit the replay later on because we got into it. How was A Quiet Place day one? Absolutely incredible. I was pleasantly surprised, and the Lupita character was written so wonderfully, such depth. So then the humanity between her and the Joseph Quinn character. That's what Hollywood is all about. It shows you that Hollywood, when they get their head out of their asses, can make a wonderful film. Rosa's with us. Rosa saw footage of the film.
Yeah, she saw part of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait till you see that trailer. Gladiator 2 lives up to the hype. And Rosa, I owe you an email. We'll get that info. It's been a fun, crazy day. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to a full review from Rosa on that. Okay, is that it?
Yeah, and you have. Are you presenting what you're coming up?
Yeah. We'll do a video on this tomorrow. But you guys can go now to the Latino Slant and read our spotlight article by Alfredo Galindo on the director, Feder Alvarez, the hombre behind the new Alien film. This is the gentleman from Uruguay. And what Alfredo does is kind of like paint you the picture of what's been happening in Hollywood recently with some of the people we cover. Then he goes into a quick wrap up of Fede's film career, working his way up from doing his shorts to Evil Dead to Don't Breathe, Dust Till Dawn, the TV show, and then all working his way up now to Alien Romulus. So it's a really good spotlight. I encourage you guys to check it out. This is what makes us different here as well, is that we actually have a full-fledged running website with 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 film and pop culture editorial. So yeah, man, that's up right now. We just put that up a little while ago, and then of course we also have Rosa's recent reviews of Despicable Meh, and her incredible review of Sound of Hope. It's more than a movie; it's a movement. So if you want to read her writing, Alfredo's writing, and sometimes I'll throw one in there as well. That's our website, Fletcher. I'm very proud of it.
Check it out.
Check it out.
And it's free.
It's absolutely free.
Free.
Look at this. All this free stuff.
Look at that. It's not inundated with ads and crazy spyware or anything like that.
You know what? It's not, but yesterday we got the Google AdSense confirmation.
Ooh. Wow.
So I need to talk to our web people, because we're like, how do we make our site, user friendly without being bombarded with ads? Because we do have now the go ahead, and we can make pennies every day. Listen, even the website's making pennies every day. That's something, right?
Yeah, that's something.
James says Fede takes great care to stay within existing canon of alien lore. If he's a fan of Star Wars, maybe Lucasfilm should get in touch with him about directing one or more of the movies with Abeloth. Ooh, that'd be tasty. But it would have to be no KK, none of that, none of her group. It would have to be under Favreau's group. No Filoni. I would love to see Fede take a crack at it. I don't think Fede would do it without some sort of control. But how about if it's Fede doing Star Wars, what about an OG? Let's go, Couture. Why not?
It's one of those things where I don't know how much they would give, freedom to a director, because it's basically, the studio is not even a studio system. It's a corporate system that is turned into a corporate system. And
that's the thing, is that
checklist.
That's why no directors of merit are coming around Star Wars anymore.
Yeah,
they're like, too many horror stories. Forget it.
Yeah, it's too much. And how much money they would make if they would just go to a director, and just basically say, here, give them $20 million, and say, here, this is a character. These are the parameters. This is the lore. This is the history. It's within this parameters. Do whatever the heck you want to do. Keep it at this rating. Go. It would make so much money, because people want to see something fresh.
I kind of like this idea for Fede, but I hope to God that rumor of Abeloth showing up in the Acolyte is not going to happen, because the way they are handling the Jedi and the Sith, it's so silly. No, please no. Please no.
Yeah, they're
freshening
up the Sith. The Sith are now hot spots. They're sex spots.
Yeah. I don't know, Daniel. And the thing is Fede's. I'm curious to see what his next film is going to be, because
that's what I keep telling him, Dark.
No.
Everybody wants your take, Polly. Yeah.
This is what we're going to do with Alien Romulus. We're going to obviously watch the film. but we're gonna do a trilogies and timelines live stream with an all-star panel and go through Aliens, Aliens. What is it? Alien, the third
Yeah,
Alien,
Alien. What was it?
and then
Resurrection
Alien
or something?
Resurrection,
Yeah.
and then Alien, and then Romulus. I don't. Should we do Covenant? That's a lot of films, man.
I don't know if you would do that. That's
That's
because
a lot
then
of
if you
films.
get into the whole weird people thing and that stuff's just weird.
Yeah, so we're gonna do a big Alien coverage when it comes out next month. We might do a trilogies and timelines for the Deadpool series as well. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, in next Monday, we have our annual. We do these twice a year, mid-year, end of the year, best of movie wrap-ups. Okay, we've been doing this now for this is our third year now going at it. What we do is we ask some of our favorite people on YouTube that love coming on here. What are your lists? What did you love so far? So far from what you've seen the first 6 months of this year. And so confirmed, we have Robert Meyer Burnett and then Rosa Parra's list. I just put her on struggle reviews. She hasn't confirmed, but
So it's a wish
next
list.
Monday, right? July 8th, 7 p.m. Pacific. We'll start. What are some of your favorite movies so far this year?
Well, I really like Kalki.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah, it was good. I did like. I went with my wife to see Thelma, and I thought that was so well done. It's so it's great to see something that's done on the cheap and so well done, and I thought that was good. I really can't remember what I've seen that much this year. I think I've been like running around too much. I think mostly I've been watching a lot of shows. I don't know if you saw this show, but this is a really cool show so far. I've watched like 1.5 episodes. It's called Supercell, and it's like a British show, and that one's super cool. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, a lot more TV shows than movies.
What are some of your favorite shows? Movies, new movies this year that you've seen in the chat. Rosa, spoiler, Thelma's on my list. Now I got to see that film.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, It's really good. It's so well done. The things that they do with it, because it's like a heist movie, but everything, the pacing and the sound design, everything's so well done. And Richard Roundtree's last performance, oh my gosh, he was amazing. Everyone was amazing, but I mean, Richard Roundtree was. I mean, it kind of got you a little weepy. So it was very well done. Very well done. It's I think one of the best movies of the year.
Well, obviously up there, top 5 is going to be Dune 2. I like Kalki. It's probably not my favorite Indian film. New one this year. It's probably going to be that black and white horror film I saw. Brahma Yugam.
Right.
That was fun. That was just. That kind of like reminds me of like the look and feel of how Nosferatu is going to look.
Right. It looks interesting.
What else? Fall Guys, a lot of fun. Maybe that makes my top 10. The Beekeeper, as far as action.
That was fun.
As far as genre, I think that's probably it. I gotta look. I gotta see. This is the thing where I get to do is I get to go and look at all my out of theater reviews. So it reminds me.
Yeah, it reminds you.
We saw Quiet Place last night. I saw Horizon the other night, the Western. I really enjoyed it. It's not gonna make my top 10. I think it's an honorable mention at what Costner's trying to do. It's just like wow.
It's funny because I went to see Horizon but I didn't. The times didn't line up, so I got to see Kalki before Horizon.
Yeah, what's your favorite, Brandon? What's up, my dude? I gotta say, some surprising ones that I really loved that are gonna be up there. I got some controversial ones. The coffee table. The coffee table is gonna be in there, and Challengers is gonna be in there. I would never thought that I would have 2 Zendaya films as my top 10. Wow. So
Should get you like a T-shirt.
Yeah, well,
Get you like a Zendaya T-shirt.
The Zendaya T-shirt. Listen.
Yeah. What do they call? Because aren't the Taylor Swift people like what are it, Twisties or something like that?
Swifties.
What are the Zendaya?
Bro, I'm not a fan like that. I'm just like just impressed with her with the movie. Her character, actually, her acting was kind of uneven at times, but her character and the dynamic of the 3 people that went beyond kind of like the threesome, whatever, that whole thing, was, oh man, it was, I really was into that. Okay. Speaking of Daisy Ridley, Young Women to See was a real surprise. Loved it. I hear it's great things. I got to check that out. Animation, Spy X Family, Code White.
Oh yeah,
cool.
That's fun.
Cool. Yeah, I got to look at my my list again. That's just it. Because we were kind of so traumatized with all the bad films, from Madam Web to what's the latest crappy film that I saw in the theater? Let's take a look. I'll just go to the playlist I have here out of the theater. Okay. Coffee tables are going to be up there. Young Woman to See. I didn't see that. We did the review for Furiosa is going to be biggest disappointment. Kingdom was good. Furiosa is making the list on like a lot of top 10 lists. Some people like.
Really? Like on which part of the list?
Like best movie, like best of the year so far.
What I heard, yeah.
Y'all see the same movie I did? Civil War. Long Game. What else we got?
Argyle.
I didn't see Argyle. Cabrini. I loved Cabrini.
Cabrini was
Robot
really
Dreams. I loved Robot Dreams.
You did like that.
Dune 2. Madam Web. And I think that's, let me see. When did January? What was my first January? Beekeeper.
You liked the Bob Marley movie too, didn't you?
One Love, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That was in January.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have to throw it all in the aggregate. And Miller's Girl. I liked Miller's Girl.
You did
I liked Ordinary Angels. What's that?
You did say you liked Miller's Girl.
And you got Ordinary Angels.
What was the one with Jenna Ortega? The other one with Jenna Ortega that you liked? Was that a TV show or was that?
That was last year though.
Oh, that was.
What do you call it? That was last year. Finest Kind.
Finest Kind.
Fantastic. That was like my number one film of last year. It was only streaming. Acolyte, Madam Web crossover. You're so wrong. I need to see Robot Dreams. You really love it. Yeah. Which because and here's the thing too with that. I could easily make a top 10 list that there's maybe no American films.
Mm.
You know, there's some incredible international films, Mexico, Spain, and India.
But didn't they used to do that in the Oscars where they would just do a foreign film?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, foreign film. I'm just saying, you know, I'm going to try and see Despicable Me. I haven't seen it. You know, I haven't seen any animated films. Did I see Inside? I didn't see Inside Out because I didn't see Inside Out 1. And I was supposed to go with Rosa to see it, but then some mamadas came up.
Mm.
So, you know, Robot Dreams is probably a wonderful movie, man. God, so good. So there are some really good films. They're just more on the independent side. Robot Dreams is Spanish produced.
Mm-hmm.
The Coffee Table. Incredible, from Spain. Brandon's been a member for 9 months. What's up, brother? Such a dearth of quality cinema. No wonder parent company of Redbox has filed for bankruptcy protections. Jeez, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, man.
Yeah. It's getting
Dearth
crazy
means
out there.
small number. Yeah, a dearth. I know, Plato. Already, Deadpool Wolverine is already your favorite movie. 2024. I got my ticket, man. I think though, you know, I'm looking forward to some movies coming up though. So we're gonna do that next week. And where are we at? I think we're at 5, and we're gonna leave it at 5. Yes, 5 more. We're 5 subs away, guys, from 12K. So if you are watching this on the replay and you're not subscribed, it's just so easy to do. Hit the subscribe, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wake up your tia.
All right. So I think that's it. That's another thing with kind of like, you know, watching the diet, you know, like the energy levels.
Yeah, you want to go to sleep earlier?
I'm wiped right now, man.
You're dreaming of food?
I'm dreaming of burgers. I'm going to probably have some peanut butter right now. That's it.
Peanut butter.
Yep. But I've been doing the tea with honey, like you said, man.
Yeah, does it help?
Dude, I'm living out. It's like I swear I'm by it every morning now.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
That's what you do. My mom sometimes does a little eucalyptus tea. You know, she would swear by eucalyptus tea with honey in it. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I got a box of tea as a Christmas present, and it's all these teas. So I've been going through them.
From all over. Yeah.
From all over.
Yeah, I don't. My wife always tries to get those fancy teas, and I'm like, no, unless it's like green tea, mate, or Earl Grey. That's it. I don't do the fancy teas. It's like I
will
call
there be a no 12K celebration?
Yes, there'll be a 12K celebration right now if you call
right now
cousins Bonzo and just have them subscribe, and we can have it right now, right here.
Right now. We've been celebrating.
Celebrating.
I brought you Kamran Pasha. I brought you Lorena. Shoot,
man, where else are you gonna go for this? Just call your aunties. Tell them, hey, subscribe to the slant right now.
Yeah, it's just for me. There's got to be a balance, and what I'm trying to do, Bonzo, is portions. You know, very like smaller portions. So we're going to a big barbecue party this Saturday. It's like the 6th of July, you know, thing. So, you know, I got to have a game plan because I can't gorge, man. You know, there's no way. So I think what I'm going to do is like I'll get a burger, I'll split it in half, and I'll eat one real slow.
Now, do you have a protein style or?
Do I eat protein?
No, I'm saying, do you have the burger protein style, or do you have the bun
Oh
and all stuff?
no! You can have bread. Yeah, you can have bread.
Oh,
For something like that, the thing is, don't go wild and don't eat fast.
wow.
You know,
You just have some chicharrones.
I'll call up my Bangladeshi click farm.
Please,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what I'm saying, rooftop.
Get it in here. Let's do it,
That's it.
rooftop.
Let's do it. Get those Bangladeshis in here. You know?
We're very
I'm sure
big
they
in
got offers.
Kerala.
Yeah. You know?
Happy 4th of July. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do
We're
people
gonna
used to
be-
say? I'm big in Japan. You know, they said we're big in India.
Big in Japan. I'm big in Bangladesh.
There you go.
Those tamales sound really good right now, huh? Oh, you're so mean.
That's messed up.
No, you
See,
know what?
Rosa,
I actually
he wasn't calling you out when you could get you like kilos of bacon.
is it, and isn't it like, I mean, for Rosa to do that too, man? It's like, damn, that's dog.
That's yeah.
They say that's gacho.
That's
That's
being
gacho.
Rosa's being a gotcha.
Happy 4th, everyone. Happy 4th. Happy
4th.
Independence Day.
Woohoo.
Spend it with your families, with your friends. We're going really low key this year. I think we're gonna have one friend over. We're gonna be dog watching another dog, and we're just gonna be here with the doggies, making sure that they don't freak out.
Oh yeah, what do you guys do for the firecrackers?
Well, Bandit's the worst one. So he's got a thunder coat. So
Okay.
we put that on him, and then we just play movies loud.
Okay.
We just hug on them. They'll be all right.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
So this has been amazing.
Amazing.
Tomorrow, what time are you on tomorrow on Midnight's Edge Espanol?
We are at California time. Tamale time is 11:30, and our time
Tamale
here
time.
on the East Coast is 1:30. So,
Wow. No, East Coast is not
whatever
1:30. East
Coast
Coast would be
Midwest
2:30.
time. Midwest time.
Central time is Midwest would be
Central time.
right.
Midwest.
So Midnight's Edge in
Midwest.
Espanol. So
Midnight's Edge in Espanol. Where we're gonna
Yeah,
talk
man.
about the sexy, succulent acolyte.
did you see it?
Jedi's butt. I was watching part of it because I'm putting together like this like project, and I'm like I like put pieces and stuff like that, and then with Lily like doing play-by-play, which is hilarious, and she's getting like
God.
thousands of views and tons of big accounts like retweeting her and quoting her because she's just on it. Every stupid thing that they do, she like records it and puts it on Twitter. It's hilarious. So it's almost like, what do you watch? You watch Lily's reaction, you watch the stupid acolyte. But it's crazy because it's not that much going on. But
Okay,
crazy
speaking
stuff
of, all
going
right,
on.
here we go. We're gonna bring it in. Speaking of Lily and her prolific tweeting, she just put this up.
Oh yeah, that happened. It
Oh my
finally got
God.
used. Yeah.
There it is. We are talking about the Acolyte Jedi whip.
Yeah.
It finally got used in the
So whip it good.
from Lily 300 Mirrors. Oh my God, there it is. Laugh. Hashtag the Acolyte. She just put this a few hours ago. And oh Lord.
Yeah, that's
What?
her wife or whatever.
So let's just say right now, I've stopped watching this show. I will not watch another episode, but we're gonna watch this scene. I don't know what this is, besides like she's got a whip. Okay. And I saw the first 3 episodes, right? I think she was this character was in the first 2.
Yeah.
God awful. She's a god awful actor.
But she's green, Paulie.
Green Lives Matter. But
That's right.
let's watch this right now. Let's see what should put the volume below.
Look at that.
Whatever. Here we go. Doesn't matter. Here we go.
What? Boom. Bam. That's right. Bam.
Wait a
Back.
minute.
She's killing a giant fly.
She killed a giant fly?
Yeah. The planet has some killer bugs.
That
awesome.
Because this they really showed, right? In the trailer. The teaser.
They showed part of the
they showed this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh my God. Wow.
Right.
And you're saying this whole thing now is so she can swap a mosca.
A giant mosca. You know, I mean, your chancla wouldn't do much of that. So of course you got to get it with the lightning whip. Yeah. I mean, imagine growing up and your mom having a lightning whip. That wouldn't have been fun. You know, look at that.
And it falls down.
That's right.
In half.
Boom. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, production. You can see that this episode, that basically, 16-minute episode, you know, you can see the production value and you can see why this cost, you know, 2 Godzilla -1 for this 16 minutes.
Are you joking? Does it look cheap like hell or what?
What are you talking about? Look at the texture of the plants. Look at that fly. That had to be expensive to make.
I mean,
and plus they have to dye her green.
I have better overhead lighting.
Guacamole is?
I have better overhead lighting in our guest room than this.
No way, come on.
And then, is that a Jedi reacting like that?
That's right. He's all like, "Oh my gosh, what did you do?"
So
people have been asking,
like that.
Yeah, is he like gay or just British? We still don't know. It might be both.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. It's got the hairstyle. Yeah, it's all cool. Look at that.
And that's it.
See? Look at that action. I mean, she did it backwards.
But she never. Oh, something happened here.
What happened?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
I'm amazed that she never. How does someone not move anything on their face?
You know, that might be her, you know, her species, because, you know.
Her species?
Yes, you know, she's
what?
Married to the director, writer, head runner, Leslie. Yeah, that's her wife right there, and she had.
Yeah, but you gotta have some like. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so screwed.
Say, look at that. That's this show. This episode is basically 2 Godzilla -1s.
So let me ask you this: they said last week's was like the best one ever. It wasn't that bad. And then now this one's like. So how are these shows going?
Lower ratings. They're lower ratings than Ahsoka right now.
Well, there you have it. See, you guys were able to get me to do an Acolyte segment. There you go. Guys happy? Are you guys happy? Comes from Star Wars comics in the 80s, used by Darth Lumia. Yes, we know this. That's where they grabbed it from. And we lost Fletcher. It's all right. Alex Von Way, I think her direction notes were to play like Nebula. Yeah, but even Nebula had the actress. She had great charm in her deadpan timing. This one has no charm. There's nothing endearing about her. So, Nebula for the win anytime. 2 words: money laundering. Oh brother. Oh brother. You said it. You said a mouthful. All right, guys. That's enough. What an incredible show we've had. New videos coming out all the time. Going to be working on. I want to try to get an interview with the director of the Coffee Table. That's an incredible, horrific horror film on Prime. And like I said, next week we'll have our best of. I can't thank you guys enough for all the support. We're a few subs away from 12K. Very wonderful. Let's do one last update. And four subs away from 12K. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'd like to thank all the members of the channel, like the new ones, the new members. And I want to thank the subscribers and all our friends that came from Kamran Pasha's people, Lorena Crio's people. I want to thank our panel. And I want to thank Fletcher Williams. Storms down, Interflex. Ah, buddy. Let's thank all our friends. Pat Finch. Alex. Mike Loves Cats. Darth Plato. Equalizer. Bonso. Daniel. Critical Thinker. Rosa Para. Brandon the Anime Guy. Remember the channel. Pet Brett. Great comments, guys. You guys a lot of. Let's thank all those people that gave us super chats. Heck yeah. You guys have all been wonderful. Hope you guys enjoyed our conversation. Looks like we got another new member. Whoa, a new member, Alex Van Way. C. Way. Thank you so much, Alex, for being a member. We're going to be having a movie night very soon with Paul Chato. We're figuring out the movie. It is going to be from Latin America. It'll be a lot of fun. You guys get to hang out. You guys get to come on to the panel with me and Chato. So with that, you get a new membership video. AC way. Darth Plato for $5. He's a member of the channel. Thank you, Darth. You have more subs than the Navy at this point, Polly. How many subs do they have? That's a lot of subs. That's a lot of subs. Thank you. We're going to do another update. Still at 4. I can live with that. I can totally live with that. That is very respectable. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Since you guys love this Ahsoka one so much, we'll play it one more time.
The low rider is a little higher.
All right, guys. Gonna head out. Much love to everyone in the chat. I'm gonna do a heart out. Wherever you're at, keep your slam fuerte. Gracias. Have a good one.